For my article, I did the success in education in South Korea. I first kind of want to start about talking about South Korea and where it's located and a little bit of history about it. South Korea is located right next to China and Japan. It's kind of a little peninsula, and it's right underneath North Korea. A little history about education in Korea. Korea was closed to outside context for 400 years until it was opened up. And then when it was opened up, missionaries came in, and they set up schools, and the government set up a modern school system. And with the school system, they started to thrive. Everyone started to become educated. Everyone went to school. It was a big deal for them to be learning. And that had been going on for years until Japan took over. And after Japan took over, that success had stopped. And then when Japan left, they left no manpower. There was no one who knew how to teach, no one who really had an education, and illiteracy was widespread. That continued on until the Basic Education Law was passed in 1949, and that is actually still in effect today. The Basic Education Law provided for the creation of a unified system configured as 6 years of compulsory free education beginning age 7, 3 years of tuition non-compulsory middle school, 3 years of tuition non-compulsory high school, and 4 years of tuition college. Because of this, citizens were able to become educated. Mass literacy campaigns were initiated, and basically widespread illiteracy was eliminated in the 1960s. So within a little over 10 years, because of this, the illiteracy rates had dropped. So that's just kind of a little bit of history about the education in South Korea. Now I just kind of want to focus on maybe some reasons why Koreans are so successful at school. The first one would probably be the traditional values. There is a folk tale in Korea, and it's called The Story of the Spring Fragrance, and it kind of instills their idea of a good education and what it can do for you in this folk tale. And I'll read it. It's Yicheon, who is the protagonist, is able to save his sweetheart, Spring Fragrance, from a new governor by placing first on the government exam, being consequently appointed a secret inspector, who anonymously wanders the countryside checking up on administrators, and in the nick of time, coming across the new governor oppressing the love of his life that he left behind. Basically, that's just stating that if you get a good education, you will be successful. It's kind of like us with the tortoise and the hare. Slow and steady wins the race. It's kind of something that we, as Americans, believe in. And this folktale is kind of something that they believe in. Another reason that maybe the Koreans are so successful is the upward mobility. They did a study where they asked, they surveyed middle and high school students, and 78.7% of the respondents answered that going to college is practically a necessity. And of those, the overwhelming majority cited the need to get a good job or the importance of social recognition. So basically they're saying if you get a good education, you'll get a good job, you'll get a good, you'll have good recognition, you'll be high in power. And that's something that's obviously very important to them. I feel like it's something that's important to a lot of countries, but I think it's more of a big deal there. It's more of a strict thing for them. Another reason that maybe Koreans are so successful at school is their parental pressure. We read an article earlier about earlier in the class, and it was about a Chinese mother, I believe, and it showed how strict she was. And I don't think Korean parents are any different. In the article that we read before, the kids weren't allowed to go to sleepovers, or they weren't allowed to have any after-school activities unless they were benefiting them, unless they were making them better at the piano or the cello or whatever it may be. And I do believe that the Koreans are the same. Another reason that the parents are probably so strict on them is when parents in Korea retire, they go and live with their kids, and so they're going to want their kids to have a good job for them when they're older, so that they can live in a nice place when they are retired. They're going to want them to be wealthy and well off so that they will have a nice retirement and a nice place to live when they're older. And maybe the last reason that they're so successful is the parent-teacher coalition. Teachers have a lot of respect in Korea. Their word is law. Authority is never questioned. It's a big deal in Korea for them um, to be teachers. It's a very high job to have, and they have all of the power. And once the teacher has all the power, it's the kids are always listening to them. They're always wanting to listen to them, and the parents also are wanting the kids to listen to the teachers. And so here I feel like in America it's not as big of a deal for us to listen to our teachers. They get talked back to, they maybe don't really get listened to, and in return the grades kind of are reflected. When you don't listen to your teacher, you're not going to be learning the material, and you're not going to be getting good grades. Well, if you're listening to your teacher constantly, and if the parent's wanting you to listen to the teacher, then your grades will reflect it. So those are just some reasons as to why maybe they're so successful at school, whether it be just they are naturally good at math and science, or they have all these things that are going towards them. No matter what, it's obvious that they are excellent at school, and these are many reasons as to probably why.